What's good, you fucking pirates? It's your boy. I'm back. I'm here. Last week I skipped for personal reasons. We're not gonna get into that. And today I'm on a time crunch, so there is no Elliot with us. You know, the OG himself, Mr. Martinez. So today I'm just gonna take over, talk about the chapters real quick. We're gonna go back to that old format. Let me make sure. Yeah, we're good. We're on time. We're going back to that old format. Just quick discussions of the chapter. Both chapters, being 1075 and 1076. Just my feelings on it, my reaction to it. We'll go panel by panel. You already know how it is. So I want to start off by saying what I have been every week in this little era, this arc, but the era of One Piece that we're getting into, which is pre-planned post time skip. That's what I'm going to call it, because this is everything that's been in Oda's brain for the past 25 30 years coming to life. And I have to say, the paneling and the comedy's back, and it feels like old One Piece. But about the arc and the chapter itself, it seems like things are wrapping up and we're getting hit with so many details. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like the start of the chapter with one of the Vegapunks, the one that Luffy calls Mr. Helmet or just Helmet, I don't know. But it starts out with him, and we see the plan of the floor and whatever, and Luffy's I'm looking at the panel right now. By the way, fucking beautiful. Zoro's chilling on the couch, scar and all, and they're noticing that the voice is cut out and everything's cutting out. And we're like in panic emergency mode, and everything's basically going to shit. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong right now in the chapter, and it's fucking amazing. 1075 brought me like not even any slobby. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm happy reading One Piece. I'm not like in a panic. I am intrigued still, but I'm not like thinking about the mysteries. I'm just happy and enjoying every single part of each chapter again, which I haven't felt, I want to say, since the beginning of Wano. And before that it was like the end of Dressrosa, where I felt that, like the Sabo chapter and stuff like that, where he comes in and Luffy's knocked out. Like I felt joy reading that. But it seems to me like every chapter this arc has just been pre-time skip feels, and I love it. So I'm gonna I have to talk. I was gonna go in order. Fuck it, bro. Nami's a greedy bitch. Nami is a greedy bitch. The whole plant is exploding. There's a bunch of people trying to evacuate. You know, you got your own crew doesn't know what's going on, and you're here worried about bringing home some fucking gems. She finds out they're man-made, and like she's amazed at everything that could happen in the future. It's just fucking amazing. But back to the task at hand. After we discussed that Nami's a greedy bitch, I think we're foreshadowing something. Something might happen with the bag and like the way out, because they discuss like coming back for it. They discuss a reroute, basically, like maybe hinting at it, or maybe they just leave all the gems there. Who knows? But I don't know. It was a nice little touch for us to see, like, Nami's still greedy. She's still a greedy bitch. And then it jumps from that to Robin realizing what the other forms of Vegapunk are. They're let me scroll here. She called them like organoids or something like that. Okay, organoids. Close. I was close. And Chopper's like crying in tears of amazement, like, oh fuck, this guy's a genius, because they just make organs, and like he's thinking about it as a doctor, like, oh shit, we could just create organs for hurt people, and then nobody has to suffer. If they have a problem with their intestine, we'll make another intestine. Here you go. Here's a brand new one that's not going to be faulty on you. You have a fucked up liver? Here's a new liver. Like, I see the vision. I see the vision here, and it's fucking amazing. And then Luffy talking to Vegapunk, because you know that's the future king of the pirates. He doesn't take shit from anybody. He's like, what's going on? And he's like, yo, you better tell me what the fuck is happening right now. That's a paraphrase, obviously, but he wants to know what's going on, why everything's going to shit in the most Luffy way possible. And we see from the chapter, like, all the cameras cutting out, and I love the noise effects, right? Because I can actually hear an old school TV just cutting out and like staticky. It was beautiful. And then Oda's paneling. I just scrolled to it. Oda's paneling, when he gives us the wide shot of the lab with the crack through the TV. There's so many details in this one little panel. I love it. I love the era that we're in. I love the expression, and I love that he's as I talked about in the last video with Elliot, I love that he's leaving things up to his editors now because he can trust them. And then let's get back to the comedy. Fucking Sanji talking about how I'll be your lapdog for this fucking bitch. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna just call her sexy Vegapunk, right? He just wants to be your loyal dog. He's like, oh, you were at the party, huh? Whatever. He's just macking on her. And then we get like a scientific explanation for why the room is so huge, and it's that it's the weapons room and you don't want it being set off. And then it cuts to the bubble thing that can fire back attacks. I want to see that shit be used, because if it can just bounce back everything, I wonder what we'll get to later, right? I wonder what attacks coming their way that they're gonna have to bubble back. I could see it like they're escaping the island and they wanna just fire that last shot at the Straw Hats as it's going to the ship, and they shoot the bubble thing at it and it reflects back to them, and that's how they escape the island. That's just the way I interpreted it. And then we got some Usopp, but mainly, wow, I'm sorry if you hear that. I don't know what's going on outside. We got some Usopp and some Frankie, but what I enjoyed seeing was a little gag. It's not really comedies. I wasn't like laughing, but it was just nice. Like, oh man, this guy got his head blown off. And Frankie's like, wow, that's messed up, right? Basically, but then Usopp sees the head walking around, and it's like, oh no, shoot! Usopp's just ready to fucking launch because he's so scared of everything. I love it. It wasn't like crazy funny, but it was nice. I liked it. And then cut to the Seraphims coming to attack, and I think it's Punk 6 defends from the metal beam, right? That Seraphim Boa has, and then we just have all the reactions and the fighting. We see this big, huge explosion. This chapter was amazing. We have the drawing of the Vega head come out and Frankie flying. I'm looking at it right now. This detailing, like I said, the detailing's great. The detailing's perfect. But yeah, just that whole like 4 or 5 pages of the attack with Boa were very detailed, but also I'm wondering how they're gonna get out of that. I would like to see some Usopp and some Frankie get the work done, right? And then we cut to Zoro and Luffy having to make the pact with what's it called, Lucci and Kaku, because they don't want to handle the Kuma, the Seraphim Kuma. So they're like, oh hey, we gotta negotiate or whatever. And it closes the chapter with a look of disgust. It was fucking amazing. I love this chapter so much, and what it tails into, because I did skip over that, but there is like text in the like very corner of one of the last few panels saying like, hey, the Seraphims aren't listening, like who's gonna command them, right? And as we know, the Seraphims are a big problem, and I love that Oda introduced them into the story, because it brings you the warlords without having to refight people that you've made friends with, like Mihawk and Boa and such, right? So it was perfect. And then the end of that chapter, them having to make the decision, right? And it just cuts off with the face of disgust. We go straight into it with 1076. No side panels of what's going on anywhere else. We go right back to the situation versus Seraphim Kuma, and Zoro goes, let's say we free you guys. I'm gonna read it word for word on the scans at least. Let's say we free you guys. I can't see you letting us cuff you again later. And then Kaku just goes, oh, if you free us and we fight, we'll just cuff ourselves after. And he goes, he's obviously lying. Luffy's just taking him for word. Well, in that time, we see Seraphim Mihawk attack, and he has Mr. 2, I think. Mr. 2 and Mr. 1's blades. So that was their buff to Mihawk, I guess. They gave him like a full body of blades as the greatest swordsman, which is fucking nuts. So he got the dice fruit. I think it's the dice fruit. Let me slide down. Yeah. Bruh, it was insane. And then they're trying to negotiate. Kaku's trying to negotiate being free, right? And Lucci's just not straying off the path. He's like, I don't care if you free me. You're my first target, and then I'm going after your crew. I'm not going out of order, but I'm still going after you. You better not free me, which I respect. At least he's being honest. He's like, listen, If you free me, I'm not cuffing myself. I'm coming after you. But we can have this truce right now so we can survive. And bro, the back and forth and the negotiating, it's fun because it's taking some tension away from the fight while still causing a panic, right? So you're not tense, but you're still realizing there's a problem to be had and a problem that needs dealing with. I love the way that story was being told there. And I think right after is when we get into the CP officers getting stranded, right? Let me scroll down just to refresh my mind. Yeah, look, World Government Intelligence CP5, 7, and 8, and they're talking about how they haven't eaten in months and they're starving and like what's gonna go on. And Vegapunk's like, I didn't even know this was going on, which is nuts, nuts. He didn't know that there was leaders of the world government, well, not leaders, but agents of the world government right under his nose, starving and trapped, and he obviously he wants to know what the hell's going on and how that was happening in his land of paradise, right? Like you can have a perfect utopia and still somebody's gonna fuck it up, right? And that's pretty telling, right? Nothing's completely perfect, and that was really like a not a timestamp. What's the word for it? Whatever. It's telling of the times that we are in One Piece where everything's gonna slowly get revealed to people. That was like a little metaphor for that. At least that's how I interpreted it. I know it's not guaranteed. I'm not the author. I'm not the GOAT. I don't know. But let's talk about business of this chapter. The last few pages of the chapter were elite. Elite. We see Shanks on this island talking about protecting people, saying, hey, well, if Kid really is about, oh, I'm going to paraphrase it. Kid's about his shit, right? He'll just give me the road poneglyph, because if not, he knows what's going to happen. And we find out he didn't lose his arm to Shanks. They took it before he even got to Shanks. So I don't know how ballsy this guy is, how ballsy Kid is, or what buffs they're going to give him in this next one, because he's awakened now, right? He wasn't awakened before. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm excited. I'm fucking excited for the war on Elbaf. They even called it a war zone. Like, wow, real Hispanic was about to come out. I'm real ecstatic. I'm real ecstatic about this. It's just, we're getting Kid versus Shanks. And there's a lot of similarities. I'm looking at it right now. They both have scars across their eyes. They're both missing an arm. I wouldn't be shocked if Kid is actually Shanks' kid, right? And that might also be the reason his name's Kid. Who knows? Who actually knows? But it would make a ton of sense to me. That's my little theory, that Kid is Shanks' kid, right? I didn't even put two and two together. They both have scars on their left hand. They both are missing an arm. But that's just a couple similarities. I'm going to close it out with saying this. The next chapter is going to have to be fire, because every chapter's been fire. And I think every chapter is going to be a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 at the bare minimum for the rest of the story. I don't see Oda slowing down right now. We're getting so much, and this chapter showed. But with that being said, I'm going to keep this video short. Like I said, within 15 minutes, I'm going to keep that goal. Like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. Dislike if you dislike the video. And I'm going to get out of here and get out of here. Peace!